TV Toastmasters. My name is Rick Davis. I'm the acting president of TV Toastmasters, and this is our April meeting, which will play in May. It's hard to believe that already we're planning on May's meeting. I want to welcome everyone today. We have a guest. Let's see, the guest is Michael Washington, and he's going to present a speech today. And then we have a new member, Tom Hottle. Yeah, I'll give everybody. I'd like to introduce our Toastmaster for today. She's the Loop Division Governor, Carol, and today's her birthday, by the way. Carol Kormelink. Carol?
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'm glad to see everyone here today. And I would also like to say hello to my friends at Dr. Haney's orthodontist office who watch this TV program. So I want to say hello to them too. We're going to have a great meeting today. We're going to be doing something different in our evaluation. We are going to have a panel of evaluators, so that will be doing something different. We start the meeting with a word of the day, and we try to use that in everything that we talk about when we come up here. So our grammarian and word power is Nellie Bowen. Nellie Bowen.
When you're slow, you get more applause. Our word today is meritorious. It's an adjective meaning worthy of reward, gratitude, honor, or esteem. The conduct of our troops in Iraq has been meritorious. Meritorious.
Oh, that interferes with the camera. Don't stick it there. Don't stick there. That drives the camera crazy, so we'll put it here.
We'll put it right there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you much. Thank you, Nellie. Our meeting will be meritorious today, worthy of reward and honor esteem. Our joke master for the day, Rick Davis, Distinguished Toastmaster Rick Davis.
Thank you, Carol. It seems that a couple of burglars decided to knock over the art museum, and in the process of getting away, their car got stuck out onto their truck actually got stuck out on the freeway. And so when the police came and got him and were questioning him, said, what was the problem? And he said, we had no Monet for Degas to make the van go.
Oh, wow, okay. We like to have a little humor, a little levity to lighten things up a little bit. Our table topics gives us the opportunity to learn how to speak quickly off the cuff on a subject that someone else picks for you. So we have what is called a table topics master, and our table topics master today is Tom Hottle, our newest member.
Good morning. I've been to 3 club meetings in the past 2 weeks, and for table topics, Iraq has dominated the subject. And of course, everybody had their hand up like this, because everybody had something to say. But the shootings, for the most part, are over, and I think it's time for a change of pace. So what have we been neglecting in the news? Well, for one thing, we've been hearing about the SARS virus, which, from what I understand, is a really bad cold that will kill you. Fortunately, it's been limited to Asia. There's not been many cases in the United States and Europe. But it's that nagging little headline that's been there since the war began, actually. So, Nellie, does the prospect of SARS bother you? Or do you think the media is overblowing it?
Hello, Mr. Tabletopics Master. Well, SARS it's contagious, but they don't think it's person to person. Now they're believing it's spread through the air. But yet it is dangerous, and I believe it could be something terrorists are using, and they've tried to see how they can spread it, because it came up all of a sudden. And yes, it could be very frightening. If they think that we are taking precautions against something like anthrax, then they're going to try something else. So that's what I have wondered. No, I'm not terribly frightened. I'm not traveling. I'm not in large crowds like at baseball games or something. But yet, a person could get it. So it's something you think about, but not like you do some other things. Mr. Tabletopics Master?
Well, the new Great American Ballpark is open, and I don't think we have to worry about catching SARS there. There haven't been many people the way the Reds have been playing. Rick, why aren't the Reds giving us more meritorious play?
I'm glad you asked me that question because I really am concerned about the Reds. That's one of the things that every day I get up in the morning and I say, what can I do as a citizen of Hamilton County, as a taxpayer, to make the Reds' life easier? I don't know. I think that it's one of these things where they have a fairly young team. It takes them a while to get on track. And this has sort of been their history in the last couple of years. I think once they get all the details worked out, all the bugs debugged, I think that they eventually are going to start winning. But they better start pretty soon, or they're going to be in serious trouble when the end of the season comes and they aren't asked to be in a playoff. So I feel that. Basically the core of the team, I guess they need some pitching or something like that. Once they get their pitching straightened out, I think they're going to be a good team. And once Ken Griffey gets back to normal and Barry Larkin gets back to normal and all that, all the old timers get on track, I think they're going to be in good shape. Mr. Tabletopics Master.
Marvin Lewis, if you are watching this, you really could be a great two-sport head coach. Please. I work for Great American. I'll get you Carl's number. Madam Toastmaster.
Our first speaker will be Michael Washington, and to read the objective of his speech, Rick Davis, who will be his evaluator. Rick.
Well, this is speech number 3 out of the Basic Communication and Leadership Manual. Organize your speech. The objectives are to organize your thoughts into a logical sequence that leads the audience to a clearly defined goal, to build a speech outline that includes an opening, body, and conclusion, and the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rick. Michael is from the Cincinnati Club, and he has his own investment, or network marketing, and he is going to be talking to us today on Opportunity Knocks. Opportunity Knocks, Michael Washington.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests. Opportunity knocks. I heard a saying one day, and I want to share it with you. If you show a man, a woman, or anyone for that matter, what they truly need or what they truly want, they'll do whatever they have to in order to achieve it. It doesn't matter what your career, profession, or interests are. When anyone chooses to do something, and they have enough reasons, it becomes important, it becomes valuable, and it becomes meritorious. And it means something more, and it's worth their every effort to go after it. Most incomes that are earned by employees are directly tied into the amount of time spent at the job. Okay. And that's referred to as linear income. When we work, we get paid. The more we work, the more we get paid. The less we work, the less you earn. However, if there was a way to get paid over and over again for something which consists of 1% of the effort of 100 or more people, that's considered our residual income. First of all, we already know deep down inside the heart of any person, they need or they want something. And they'll do whatever is necessary. They'll move mountains, they'll move heaven and earth to get it. If you are not working, or if you are working, if you know someone who is thinking about how they can solve or improve their current situation, with what I'm about to share with you, is designed for your convenience, for your time, and at your own pace, without any pressure at all. There's a company called Fortune High-Tech Marketing, and the national headquarters is over in Lexington, Kentucky. And the founder, his name is Paul Orbison. And the operation started with this company in January of 2001. Paul Orbison was a school teacher, and he applied his efforts to help one of the fastest growing telecommunications companies generate billions of dollars. In 4 years, he became a multi-millionaire, which recognized him as one of the most successful network marketers who earned so much more money in a shorter period of time than anyone in the industry. Now, Mr. Orbison, he's currently the elite coach who has created one of the most empowering and classic compensation plans in network marketing. The fuel to be fruitful in the infrastructure of Paul Orbison's exceptional business opportunity is achieving your first goal, which is to be carefree in sharing and showing the business to people who will listen to you. People who are working and persons who may want to add a backup source of income along with their full or part-time jobs. Even if they already have a business, an additional or supplemental source of income can be consolidated. If you're about to retire from the military or any employer and you're a leader or a supervisor, being the boss is your forte. And this opportunity challenges your strength. All you have to do is sponsor, recruit, or obtain 3 or more friends, associates, colleagues, or any risk-taking, money-making, initiative-striving, team-playing set of doers. Once this is done, training and sharing your Fortune High-Tech Marketing business opportunity with others is done through 2-on-1 presentations, home meetings, audio and video tapes, 3-way or teleconference calls. And to take a step further, check out one of the formal business presentations at the nearest location in your city. Learn at your own pace, use your time when it's convenient. There's no pressure, there's no demands, there are no bosses or inventories. Now, it's acceptable to work for your employer and retire if you're content with that. However, to pay off auto loans, mortgages, student loans, and other creditors sooner than later. Also, you can increase your tax deductions throughout the year. And what's extra is you're empowering yourself from being downsized. Unexpected expenses. And most of all, you have a wide range of people in the Fortune High-Tech Marketing company and support. Plus, personally, you are truly satisfying and fulfilling all your needs and wants. You're increasing your influence, you're increasing your security, and you're increasing your stability for yourself and your family. Keep in mind that your overall goal is to develop a source of long-term residual income. The infrastructure for accomplishing this is fostered with contracts that have been negotiated with major companies to supply the customers that you enroll for products and services, such as Singular Wireless, UnionNet Internet Service, Dish Network Satellite Dish, long distance, personal or small business websites, SkyTel paging, e-commerce, which consists of 300 stores on a shopping mall, pet life messaging system, and a reduced rate healthcare card. As I stated earlier, there's no pressure, there's no pushing there are any bosses. Use your time at your convenience. And to grow your business It's all about staying with it, and production will happen without stress. Just stay with it. Don't change your life. Let patience and gradual yet consistent effort confirm your time is worth it. It's worth it to be in the right place once Fortune High-Tech marketing stage of momentum is from Genesis through Exodus. Contact Michael Washington today. Call 513-631-2120 now. Opportunity knocks for you. Thank you. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. And now for our next speaker, Stanley Glitchner.
Nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancti.
Speaking in public doesn't have to be a death sentence. At Toastmasters, we can help you overcome your fears.
Will be Sheila Mudd Baker, and she will be presenting a training video. She will be evaluated on the playback of the video to see how well her training tape would go over. And the objectives of Sheila's speech are to learn how to develop and present an effective training program on television, to receive personal feedback through the videotaping of your presentation, and she has 5 to 7 minutes for the presentation, plus 5 to 7 minutes for the playback of the videotape. The title for Sheila's training video is Harry Potter 101. And Sheila is with the Cincinnati Parks and Recreation Committee, Commission? Close. You can correct me. And I don't know if Harry Potter has something to do with that, but let's welcome Sheila Mudd Baker, Harry Potter 101.
Actually, I work for the Cincinnati Recreation Commission, and Cincinnati is one of the few cities that has a separate park board and recreation commission. Most cities do have parks and recreation together, but you're right. Harry Potter 101 has absolutely nothing to do with the Cincinnati Recreation Commission. This is a video which will tell you everything you need to know to keep up with the children and the adults who keep telling you about Harry Potter so that you don't feel lost. Now you're asking, how is it possible that someone might not know everything there is to know about Harry Potter? Well, let's face it, unless you have children of the right age, you probably don't know all the details. Even if you've seen the first 2 movies of the Harry Potter series, you probably don't know all the details unless you have read every book over and over again. I, fortunately, am a Harry Potter freak. So, I am going to give you a few high points so that you can speak intelligently to children and adults about Harry Potter, and that you don't look at the end like a muggle. What's a muggle, you ask? A muggle is a non-magic person who is ignorant of all that is magic in the world. Many of us are muggles most of the time. An 11-year-old boy like Harry Potter thought that he was just an everyday boy. This is a classic story and a classic piece of literature. 11-year-old English orphan. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like Oliver Twist? Is mistreated by relatives who are forced to take him in. He sleeps in the broom closet. He never gets enough to eat. He wears hand-me-down clothes from someone who is 3 times his size. He is bullied. He has no friends. He has no hobbies. He's not very good in school because he spends all of his time trying to figure out how to keep from being thumped by the bullies in his classroom. Here he is 11, having a miserable life with people who don't like him, and he discovers he is magic. He finds that, yes, indeed, he is an orphan, and his parents, who were relatives of the people who took care of him, were actually wizards. This is how Harry discovers that he is someone special after all. There are several books in this series. There are 7 books. Now, so far, only 4 of those books have been released. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the the Goblet of Fire. Now, it sounds like we're on a roll, so the next one should be called Harry Potter and on June 21st, it will be Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. There will be 7 books in this series. Each book talks about a different year in the school that Harry Potter attends, which is called Hogwarts. Yes, you're right. It's a story of a pig school? What? Hog, H-O-G, Wart, W-A-R-T, and the school is known as Hogwarts, the School of Wizarding. It's only one school in many schools of many countries. Every country in the world has a wizarding school that no one else knows about except wizard families, and Harry attends the one in England. Harry, when he goes to school, gains friends for the first time in his life. He learns that life is not what he thinks it is, that he is not who he thinks he is. In fact, Harry, when he arrives at school, discovers that people treat him as a meritorious creature, someone worthy of great honor. Harry, you see, has a giant lightning-shaped scar on his forehead, like this, which everyone notices because it's so prominent. He was ashamed of it as a child, but here he is at 11 years old, and everyone who sees it says, "You are the great Harry Potter, the one who survived the most terrible wizard of all, Lord Voldemort, he who must not be named." Throughout the books, Harry Potter becomes more and more of himself. This is the story of the young hero who learns to be truly heroic. And along the way, fortunately Harry is a normal boy despite the fact he's a wizard, he learns things about friendship, about people who seem to be people who are enemies may not really be your enemies, and people who are friends may not really be your friends. And he learns a great deal about truth and honor, and sometimes deceit's okay, especially if you're trying to get out for an adventure. He learns about magical creatures. He learns about friendship, as I said, and he learns about family and love. But more than anything else, Harry learns about the truth. What is more important in life than learning the truth? And while you're learning the truth, you learn who you are. So with those 4 novels, Harry has learned that life is good if you stay true to yourself, you're willing to do what you need to do. And one of the things that Harry needs to do is play the great wizarding game of Quidditch, which is played on broomsticks 50 feet above the ground, and it is brutal beyond all brutal, and it's a lot of fun. So Harry becomes a Quidditch star, a tri-wizard champion, that is, that he has learned even to defeat dragons, all of this by the time he's 14. So if you read very, very quickly the 4 books that are already out, you will be ready in time for the June 21st book, and you will learn that it's not necessary for you to be a muggle anymore. Join the rest of us and become wizards.
Thank you, Sheila. I was one of those muggles. I had no idea what Harry Potter was. So we are going to stop the tape and replay it.
I'd like to begin tonight with a little joke. This guy, he's a farmer, and he says, "Hey, hello, sorry." But seriously, folks,
Speaking in public is no joke.
doctor says, the chicken says,
For help, call Toastmasters, the public speaking support group.
the chicken.
Welcome back. We will now have the general evaluator conduct the evaluations. Jerome Manigan, Advanced Toastmaster Bronze, and Competent Leader Jerome Manigan.
Thank you very much, Ms. Toastmaster. To my fellow Toastmasters, we've had a very good meeting today, a meritorious meeting today. I would be able to say Rick Davis is going to evaluate Michael Washington's presentation titled Opportunity Knocks.
Thank you, Jerome. My fellow Toastmasters and Michael, opportunity knocks. I think you did a great job. This is the first speech where you're supposed to have like an organized flow. You're supposed to put some things together so you present a logical presentation. I think you really met your objectives. You talked about something that you feel passionate about, which is always good. Talk about something that you know about. You talked about choices, how they have importance and value, and you have to put effort into it. You're very confident up here. I didn't detect any nervousness. That was really nice. And you had good eye contact with both the group and with the camera. You placed your hands on the sides of the lectern, so you didn't fiddle around, didn't make a lot of noise, and that's really good. The only suggestion I have is dealing with your notes, and you had your notes in a spiral notebook, which required you to lift them up and turn them over and that sort of thing. And I did see you get lost at one point. So what I'd suggest is that you type them out, put them on sheets of paper, and so that you can slide them, and that prevents distraction from the audience from being distracted by your handling of the notes. But all in all, you did a great job, and I look forward to your future presentations, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick. Now, we're going to take a look at a couple of things. First of all, I want to comment on Rick Davis's evaluation of Michael Washington. I think Rick always does an outstanding job. He commands the podium. He speaks with ease and confidence. And I think that his comments to Michael were right on. Very helpful, very useful, very insightful comments. And Rick, we appreciate very much your evaluation of Michael Washington and his presentation, Opportunity Knocks. Now, as general evaluator, I am charged with the responsibility of coordinating an evaluation, a panel evaluation of Sheila's presentation about Harry Potter. Sheila, would you come up and join me? You're always very good, and I enjoy your presentations. Let me ask you, how did you feel about your presentation? You had an opportunity to give it, then you had an opportunity to witness it on television. How did you feel about it?
Fairly good. Fairly good. I have some experience in front of the camera, but I caught myself doing a few things I didn't like. For example, I did this, which is a very common thing because I live in Cincinnati and I have an itchy nose like everyone else. And I found myself moving back and forth, and I forgot something very important. When I mentioned Harry Potter, I forgot to mention who wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. So that was a very important piece of information for Harry Potter 101 that I forgot. That is terribly important. And I felt I tied it together fairly well, and it was definitely a basic. This was only to give the basics, no more, enough to whet the appetite of someone who wanted to learn more.
All right. Now, were those the objectives of your training program? What you just outlined to us, were those the objectives?
My objectives, as I read them
Okay.
in the book, was to teach something to improve the knowledge or the ability of the skill of the audience in a particular area in a 5 to 7 minute segment. So whatever I did the training on, which could have been how to sew on a button, how to make a box, how to paint a wall, whatever I did, it had to be only in 5 to 7 minutes, and it should have been in a topic which I was interested. But as we have discussed already, perhaps I didn't meet the objectives as they were set out in the book according to the interpretation of the evaluators. So we will find out.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you, how was your training program geared to the specific needs of this audience?
Well, in this case, I interpreted the audience as being our television audience, and that, to me, that I figured that anybody who's watching cable probably is also watching movies, and has heard about Harry Potter but may not have actually read any of the books. And here's an opportunity for them to read the books.
All right. So as a result of your presentation, you wanted the audience, both in the studio and at home, to read the Harry Potter
Yes.
books, okay? Do you think that you have inspired people here and the people at home to go home and read the Harry Potter books?
I certainly hope so. I'm enthusiastic about Harry Potter. I was a literature major in college, and I really consider this a great piece of children's literature.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Sheila. Now, may I ask the panel, do you have comments that you would like to share with Sheila about her presentation? Rick?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I just want to elaborate on a couple little technical points. You gave a lot of information. I think if you had some sort of a chart or something that we could have followed, you talked about the 4 books, and there was just a lot of information jam-packed into your talk, and I think if we had some sort of visual aid, that would really help us. The other thing is when I watched the tape, it looked to me like you'd sort of reached a logical end, and then you brought in, was it Quidditch or Quidditch? It seemed like you sort of, okay, I forgot that, now I'm going to add that in. And it seemed to me that you should have just ended it. I think you would have been, it was a logical ending, and instead of tacking something on at the last minute. So I really enjoyed your presentation, and I look forward to future presentations.
Thank you, Rick. Tom?
Well, Sheila, your goal was an intro to the Harry Potter series, and I believe you achieved that objective. I think I agree with you, this was probably more of a speech to inform or entertain than a training speech, but we've already discussed that. It was very informative nonetheless. You were very enthusiastic. You had smooth transitions between each of your points, including segueing right in from the intro. You obviously boned up on this. You seem to know a little bit about the series. Seriously, but I think that drove your enthusiasm and your passion. It helped people's attention. You focused on the camera the entire time, which was good. There's a tendency to stand up here to focus on the audience more than on the camera, which gets a little distracting for television. You were relaxed and comfortable with the camera. At one point you stumbled and you said, "I'm sorry," which is a hard habit to break. I do that myself a lot. If you can kind of catch yourself and say, "or rather," and it was just on a book title, so I think you could have said, if you said "or rather," I think that would have worked much better. I would recommend doing this speech again as a speech to entertain or a speech to inform, just with the sheer enthusiasm and the amount of knowledge you have, and the fact that you didn't even need to use any notes, which would have, I think, distracted most people. I thought it was terrific. I enjoyed seeing it, and good job.
Nellie, did you have comments you wanted to share with us?
Thank you. I knew nothing whatever about the Harry Potter books. I've seen them advertised, listed different places, and I know they're movies, but I knew nothing about them. But it seems to me there's a lot in the books, not only for children, but for adults. And the way Sheila explained it, there are a lot of things in there that we all need to learn. And if we did learn these qualities, this world would be a much, much better place. But they're all qualities that we all should have, we should all strive for, and that was what I picked up and what made it interesting to me, and I appreciated your explaining it to me. And now it would be interesting to read the books. And thank you, Sheila.
Thank you, Nellie. Carol, did you have some comments you wanted to share with us?
I thought you did very well. Go ahead, stand up here because you can't hear me. Thank you, Julie. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially Sheila. Sheila, I did like your presentation because, as I said, I knew nothing about it, And I thought the way you trained, you came across on the tape, you were very professional and made me want to listen and investigate further. I thought you did an excellent job. And the only thing I noticed was your little rubbing your nose. But other than that, I thought you came across your sincerity, your good presentation on the tape. I really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share with us comments about Sheila's presentation? Mr. Alex, thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. You look fantastic in that tape. I was glimpsing at you and at the monitor, and the red color somehow exalt your personality. And that's great because you come up with great persistent. You were always focused on the camera. And one of the things that I want to thank you about that Harry Potter topic is my son. He's all excited about that book, and I don't know anything about it. It's like, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. And that magic that you mentioned, turn the light on and say, this is the magic that my son has been talking about for so long. And it's great. Every single one of us have that magic inside of us. Sometimes the problem in life, get that magic faded away. But you bring that enthusiasm back to our life to get to read something about Harry Potter, because every one of us had that magic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. All of the evaluators, you were excellent. Your comments were very good, and you looked very good standing here in front of the TV camera. We're going to hear from Nellie Bowen. She is the grammarian for today's meeting, and she's going to tell us how many ahs and oohs and all of those little things that we don't want to do as accomplished speakers. Nellie?
Thank you, Jerome. Well, for the last few days, I've been having something run through my mind, and I don't know what the song is. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, bing, bang, walla, walla, bing, bang. I don't think we're supposed to use those, are we? No. Tom, you had 6 ahs and 1 kinda. And Rick, you had 3 ahs. Michael, I didn't catch any. I tried. I didn't catch any. I don't think there were any. And Sheila, you had was when you should have used were. Jerome just had 1 ah. Alex, 1. Now, when you're the grammarian, you never have any ums and ahs.
Thank you, Nellie. Our timer this evening is Verna Gibson. Verna?
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me today, Carol. I kept the time, and I just caught myself saying in awe as I'm listening to you and I'm saying it. I kept the time for today. On the word power, Nellie, you had 26 seconds. The joke master, Rick Davis, you had 30 seconds. On the table topics, Nellie, you had 55 seconds, and Rick had 1 minute and 18 seconds. So all of you were within your time limit. The grammarian, Nellie, again, you had 51 seconds. For our speaker number 1, Michael, and Michael, I think you did a very good job. You were exactly on 7 minutes. So I would suspect that you might have practiced that a little bit, or you were just lucky. But it was exactly 7 minutes. Rick did Michael's evaluation, and he had 1 minute and 28 seconds. Speaker number 2 was Sheila. You had 6 minutes and 10 seconds, so you were well within your time. On the evaluation, Rick had 45 seconds. Tom, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Alex, 58 seconds. Sheila, 2 minutes and 57 seconds. So again, you were fine. Nellie, 40 seconds. And Carol, 30 seconds. Thank you.
I think we've had an excellent meeting. It was meritorious, and we all should pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves an award of meritocracy. All right. I am going to bring to you Rick Davis with the closing comments for today's meeting. Rick.
Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you.
And thank you, Carol, for your job as Toastmaster today. You did a great job. We had two great speeches. Our next meeting will be at the Kenwood Church at 6:30 on May 5th. And then the next meeting after that will be here at the studio, May 17th at 9:30. And I hope that you will all join us for that meeting. I think I will leave it at that, and we will talk about some things after the camera ends. But thank you all for looking in, and we will see you next time.